Generation Gymshark. Come on, let's see who we got here. Let's see how many misfit Generation Gymsharks out there. I'm right on cue once every 3 months on here. That's how much interest I have in it. Right on cue. Go 66 is the fast twitch muscle fiber freak. Eddie Steady, the usual suspects, road to 1,000 bench press. You guys are the type of guys I can call in the middle of the night when I'm in a jam and you'll come bail me out, right? Lenny's in Valhalla looking down on all us peasants. Man. Anybody watching the game? We got the game on in the background with no sound. Penn State and Notre Dame just infiltrating. Carl the Truth Weathers. Carl. Meatball. Eddie Steady. Charlie Conway. Woo! It's coloring. That's right, nap lifts. Happy New Year. Haven't talked to you guys since last year. Yeah, I did the modern day Winston Churchill's podcast a couple months ago. Bengals, yeah. Too bad they couldn't get in barbecue. They would have made some noise. They were getting hot at the right time. I'm holding up fine, Mike. Hey, we all got an appointment with death. Lenny, that's what Lenny used to say. Vroom, vroom. No, I'm weak as piss, nap lifts. I was just reflecting today on my bench press incline compared to 2018 when I made my appearance in South Florida. I've lost like 50 pounds off my incline, 50 pounds weaker. How about that? But I haven't taken any gear since May of 2019, so. Lenny's posting new videos in heaven, 2010 drive, with the Apostle Paul, Noah, Moses. Thoughts on Hulk Hogan? Hulk Hogan getting booed at the Raw event? I don't know. I didn't hear about that. Probably, if I had to guess, is because he's a Trump supporter. Jimmy Carter, he brought us. He sold the Panama Canal for $1. Botched the Iranian hostage crisis. Allowed them. What's the boat invasion from the Cubans, like Scarface? That was under his watch. But he lived a long life, fruitful life otherwise. What was he, 100 years old? That's right. Lenny's in heaven with all the kitty cats that Chuck the Cat abandoned or abandoned. 11 days to the inauguration, huh? Eat, sleep, and grow. Do it for Lenny. That's right. Wes Watson fight. I don't know if you can call it a fight from what I've seen. The only one I've seen covering it is Johnny Bravo. I'm sure there's others, but that one keeps popping up. But I don't know what that guy was thinking going there, basically going into a lion's den. But who knows what's going to happen if he's going to do, get in trouble for it or what. Lenny would have had a field day with that footage. I know that. Thoughts on manifestation? What do you mean by that? Like positive faith movement, name it and claim it? I don't believe in it. We're not here for a picnic, suffer like Christ did. Nope, running nothing, Eddie Steady. I just said it a minute ago. I haven't touched drugs since 2019. Where's Big J? I don't know. He's still around. How long do you think it would take you to train myself for a 350 bench? Now, who knows? The Secret Lair owner, Stefan, he's got some good programs. If I ever wanted to, try for a meet and increase my strength, but I don't know. Honestly, when Lenny and I talked about this way back when, he's like, if you ever, I'm at the point where I've lost the urge, the intensity to lift. I go in there 2 or 3 days. The other days I do cardio. I've lost my lust for life. I'm ready to go to the eternal state. If you feel me. Goals is just one day at a time, Eddie. Steady, like I'm in rehab. I don't really have any goals as far as lifting. Uh, Strengthen my relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. That's the goal every day. Grow in grace and knowledge of Jesus Christ. I'd get crushed by 405 meatball. I couldn't do it. It's all about longevity. Even though I'm ready, the Lord could take me tomorrow. It doesn't matter. But otherwise, I'm going to train for longevity. Go 66. I wish I could say you win a prize for being the fast twitch muscle freak on here. My motto for this year, when I train, when I'm in the gym, is that was good enough. And that's good for me. Still better than 90% of the broccoli heads, I'll say that. Think God is punishing California? Possibly. He causes the rain to fall on the just and the unjust. Can you give motivation to stay away from weed? Why do you do it? I tried it. I would never touch it again. I just despise the smell of it. Talk about a cookie cutter thing to do. There's millions of people doing weed. Why? I just did it for the fun of it when I was a teenager because, my brother and this other kid introduced me to it. A dumb kid. My brain wasn't fully developed. So I thought, let me do this. But what's the point of it? If it makes you better in any way, say you in academics you're better and it's been proven, you test better, you get better grades on essays or research papers while you're on it, then by all means. My mom tried it when she in the midst of her cancer, did nothing for her. The gummies, she didn't like it. My dad's the same way. He didn't like drugs, never took drugs. Some people are just wired that way, but I don't know. I don't see the utility in it really. No, I didn't see Mel Gibson. He was on Joe Rogan. I'm watching Wes Huff. I'm halfway through the Canadian Wes Huff Bible Scholar on Joe Rogan from the other day. Yeah, makes you an emotional cookie cutter. Pharmakia, quick pump. That's the word for pharmaceuticals in the Bible, drugs, witchcraft. It's all tied in. Like it's like these people that think they go down to South America on some ayahuasca trip and it's the panacea for all their mental hang-ups and crutches. I don't buy it. You're going to meet the devil there. That's what Luigi, this guy I used to work with years ago. He was Italian, but he spoke fluent Spanish. He grew up in the Dominican Republic. And this other cookie cutter was talking about going to strip clubs, and the guy was like in his 60s. And he told him, "You're going to meet the devil there. That's who you're going to meet." That's what you're going to meet, quick pump, when you smoke dope. You're going to meet the devil. You don't want to meet him. Keep sober-minded. Think if somebody was about to attack you or one of your loved ones. Would you want to take a hit from a joint, or would you want to be in the right frame of mind? And it could happen at any time now. Uchi. Jim Stewart didn't say that I didn't need to lift heavy weights. It was some trainer at the old World Gym back in the day. Who got? That's right. You meet the devil when you squat 315 for 22. But I bet you're praying to God to get you through that set. Yeah, I've heard of donating plasma. I'm behind here. Let's see. Yeah, her face is aging a little bit, Cosmos Mariner. A little more gray, but she's still got a lot of sassiness to her, and she can jump around good. I never met Big Richard. I wouldn't know how Leather Daddy Brad and Delray Ripper are. They don't contact me. Let me be honest, Brad, I've met about 5 times in my life. I wouldn't consider him a friend. He's an acquaintance, nothing more. Same thing with Prince Andrew. Nothing personal, but 20 rep squats are gut checks. Yeah, that's one of the toughest things you can do in the gym. What's the temperature in Florida anyway? We're getting snow here for the first time in over 1,000 days tomorrow. How about that? I honestly don't remember meeting Prince Andrew at the gym. I may have seen him in passing, but I don't remember having any extensive conversations with him back in the World Gym days. No, I didn't really cry much when Lenny died. Even with my mom, a little bit, but not so much with Lenny. I kind of went for a walk in the park that day. Dale Chance called me. I mean, become numb to life. Uh, what's the guy? He's an ex-Navy SEAL. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got long red hair, Southern accent. 3 of 7 project. God, what is his name? I can't think of his name. Anyway, he talked about a couple months ago before the election, and he's a Christian too. And he was like, he talked about becoming numb to everything, like nothing's really interesting anymore, and he wasn't afraid to suffer. It's kind of where I'm at. I've had some personal things going on. It's like, I mean, I'm not suicidal, but I'm definitely ready to leave this rotten earth. How often do you remember Lenny? About every day, yeah. You know, I come across the video. Thankfully, what's his name? Transform X Red is keeping the memories alive. It's great laughs. I'll pass, text them to some guy I know, Eric, here in town. Yeah, he was like family to many of you guys, myself included. You're correct, Dylan. Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ, and thou shalt be saved, you and your family. Trust in, rely upon, cling to him. We have amateur psychologists in here with all sorts of great advice. I'm glad I came on here. I'm going to go out with a bang because it's going to be the right time that God decides for me to go out with that bang, with or without TRT. Does HGH strengthen your tendons? I've heard it strengthens them, and I've also heard it weakens them. So I don't know. I mean, look at top power lifters. I don't think many of them use HGH, but bodybuilders do. But they're not. Some bodybuilders can lift decent amounts of weight, but that's not their goal to lift maximal weights like a power lifter. And so most power lifters are pretty fat, so you would think they're not taking HGH. Lenny was lucky during the Trick Daddy concert. He got to see all the hot chicks down in South Beach, where I was in this corridor where I couldn't see out. You know, you had the security at the front, you had me in the corridor, then people paid past me. So Lenny said there were some real sights out there. You want to do a back out with me? Back workout? V8 Panther? Oh, you live in Spartanburg? Yeah, maybe I can come to the Spartanburg Crunch. I joined the upper tier, so I can go to any of them now. I might have to take you up on that. No, I don't think I'll get married or have kids. I'll be a fur dad. I have lost faith in American women. And hell, these passport bros, I've been hearing horror stories about the women in the Philippines, Thailand. Don't you think they've caught on by how to be a snake broad too by now? McCuck's got merch. No, I got a couple shirts from the old days he sent me. The not monetized YouTube looking shirt. I got the new Universal Order one with the skull I wear to the gym. I love you too, Dylan. God bless you. I pray God gives you, you know, many, many blessings. I've already conquered the world, Atlanta freak. The mere fact that I'm sitting here, not, you know, I didn't have a widowmaker. I'm further in life than I thought I would get. This kid I worked with in 2017 asked me in 5 years what I would consider a success for myself. I said, not dead or in jail. I'm going to skip the ads here because I don't plan on making much. McCuck's got a pre-workout now. Awesome. Good for him. Nah, I wouldn't leave the USA for another country. Well, I'll never say never. You know, my dad's here, my brother. Where's the gals? You tell me, macho freak. Lots of Italians in Montreal. Yeah. I'm surprised to be alive because when you have a 63 plus, 6,300 score on the calcium score, and you look at the 10-year predictions on your fate, and I've had it for many, many years, so I'm blessed to be alive with as much plaque as I have in my arteries. Well, I'm not bitter. I'm a realist, macho freak. 1, 2, 3. It worked well for me at the end of the NFL season with the Bengals. I expected them to lose every game, and then they won 5 in a row, but they needed help to get in the playoffs. So, well, it was a pleasant surprise when they won. Did I expect to outlive Lenny? Well, I haven't outlived him because he was how old? 50 something, and I'm only 46. So he lived longer than me. Who's to say I'm going to live as long as he did? Well, what I contribute to high calcium score? Steroids, first and foremost. 90% steroids, 5% genetics, 5% diet. That's what I would attribute it to. I took niacin, didn't work. I got to take a statin and zetamide. What do you think are things to get motivation? How the society's degenerated since the 50s and 60s. Think about that. Trying to get used to being single. Fiance was a cheater for 3 to 6 years together. I cope because I'm never alone. God's always with me and my guardian angel. That's how I cope with it. You got to learn to love being by yourself. How are you going to love your neighbor as you love yourself? If you're scared to be alone, that means you don't like being alone with yourself and your thoughts. A story of meeting Big Lenny for the first time outside the World Gym in Boynton Beach. He was lifting with Anthony Hamilton, and I was in there, and I was on a cycle, and I had a goatee, and it was much darker. I looked Hispanic, Cuban, and Puerto Rican. I had the chain wallet, and Lenny was eyeing me up out in the parking lot. But he was impressed because I was moving some weights. I was on some D-ball. And then later when we really met formally and then started training together at the Delray World Gym, he's like, yeah, you were impressive in there, but I thought you were a spick. He goes, you got that chain wallet and that dark goatee. So that's for you, Ravisi. Messing with my sleep. I met Lenny in 98. Yeah, 98, because I turned 21 in 99, and we had been training together for some time. I went and did legs with him on the night of my birthday when I turned 21. And the girl at the desk, she goes, how terribly exciting. Like this red couch was part of the package deal when I moved into this place from my old tenant. He sold me the TV, the dining room table that I never used. I was benching 400 when I met Letty in 98, and I quickly shot up to over 500 within a year. Yeah, Big Larry did a bodybuilding show. I don't remember when. And of course, you have certain cravings right after the show, and he's like, just do me a favor. I'll pay for you guys' tickets. Just go get me Arby roast beef sandwiches. So we got like a dozen of them, and we were sitting watching the show. We started eating them, me and Lenny. And they had those little wrappers. We left them about half of them, and then we threw the wrappers in there. He wasn't mad about it. He laughed about it afterwards. Then there was another show we just snuck in without paying. Jim Stewart was competing. This guy got locked up in a cramp. Ruel Griffin, I think he died. They had to like drag him off the stage. And Jim Stewart was such a sore loser that it was a little rinky-dink show at some high school, and they didn't play his music. They had a problem playing his music, and he was so pissed. He's like, come on, let's hear some music for me. He finished second place, and he was like pouting, being a sore loser. And this lady was doing her posing routine, some woman bodybuilder. She was so flabby. And Jim Stewart yells, this music sucks, and so does her ass. Whoa. I'm not 50 yet, Atlanta freak. I got another couple of years. You're getting ahead of yourself. I may not make it that far. Do I think it's possible for the average man to train for a 500 pounds bench natural? A very select few, an excellent genetic person. Very, very, very few people on the planet ever could do that, I think. That's just my opinion. Could Lenny ever lift heavy? Yeah. He had good row strength and shrugs and neck. But I think a lot of his issue is what I'm running into now is my hips are crooked and my shoulders. You won't believe how much that throws you off. I mean, think about it. One leg's longer than the other. One shoulder's dipped down. It's definitely hindering me, and Lenny's always had that. Yeah, I like Romanian deadlifts. I love it. I love the haters. It's just an undocumented follower. I was deployed. I love the podcast. Yeah, it's hilarious. They, like Prince Andrew said, if they would have got that on the Netflix, it would have made a killing. There's nothing like it. Nothing will ever duplicate it. Barbell squats, no. I don't know. My hip's been bothering me for a while. It's like knots. I've had a couple massages. I try to, stretch my hip flexors and strengthen my glutes. I don't know what it is going on with it. Thanks for the $2 holler, meatball. Yeah, Sam Sulek. He's name dropped me and Big Lenny. I saw somebody sent me. Who's Ian McCarthy? I started shaving my head in my early 20s when I realized I was going bald. Partially genetics. I had an uncle, Korean War vet. My mom said he was built like me, or I was built like him, and he started going bald early. And you mixing the gear, so. Yeah, I'd like to collab with Sulek. I slow him down though. The kid's, he's in his prime, moving good weight. Thanks for the $9.99 there, buddy. I should be paying you. You were the fast Twitch muscle freak tonight. Yeah, they should do a broccoli head gimmick. Why Sulek a scam artist? Ski mask. So you're going back to college? Not really. I'm not the cerebrally endowed type to get into academics. Brad likes Insane Clown Posse. I worked one of their concerts in 2019. They sprayed that soda all over the place. They had little clowns running around the stage. Yeah, the Warlord. We locked up with them. We should have pursued that. It's a regret not pursuing any sort of wrestling, especially during that time. I don't know. I may get my levels tested next month. Last year, they were total test was like 4 something. Work, boring, monotonous, not challenging. I was just scrolling, looking at the available jobs in the area. It's like my dad always said, entry level, Andrew. That's all you're going to get. No, I don't use L-carnitine. It converts it with something called TMAO in your arteries, which is actually bad for your arteries. The injectable kind may not do that, but everything I've read on the oral supplements of L-carnitine, that whatever that substance is, it converts in your body is bad for your heart. And you already know I'm behind the 8 ball on that. No podcast appearances. Ken Patera. Is that the Ken Patera in here? Would I take steroids again if I go back in time? That's a tough one because without the strength and everything I gained, you guys would never know who I was. And if I could lead just one person to Christ, because it's hard for me to do, cold approach people. It's not that easy. Whereas you never know. Somebody could be led to Christ through one of these lives I do. And that's the bottom line is why I do it. So if I never took steroids, I would never met up with Lenny, then I wouldn't be on here. But on the other hand, if I would have never taken steroids and just went for a good career, something medical or a trade, I'd be in a better place in life. But is that everything? So God causes all things to work together for good for those who love him, for those who are called according to his purpose. That's me. I didn't take a straight route here, but many twists and turns, and here I am. If I would just taken steroids and just been one of the many nobodies that have taken steroids and just kind of competed locally, but thankfully I have this, even though I don't do this often. But so thanks to first and foremost Jason Genova, Big Lenny, Prince Andrew. Without them, you guys wouldn't know who the heck I was. I'm saying God took a sinful area of my life, the Atlanta freak. He causes all things to work together for good, even out of bad situations and the wrong paths, for those that love him. So if you believe in Christ, you love him with all your mind, your heart, your strength. And those that are called according to his purpose. That's anybody that's born again. You're called according to his purpose. So here I am. By the way, I want to mention the kid I had months ago, Daniel Dominguez. He was struggling with alcohol. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that, but I pray for him. I hope he's doing well. He watched my video just at the right time when he was ready to give in to his alcohol addiction months ago. So hopefully he'll see this, and I pray for him. And you guys should keep him in your prayers. What else you got, Atlanta freak? Listen, pal, I'm 46 years old. You think you're going to rattle me? Who's Martin? Rusty Shackelford. I'm doing well. Hamburg, how you doing? You should be in bed. What time is it in Sweden? See me now. I don't know what Lenny passed away from. I reached out to his brother after I did that live with you guys back in October. Somebody gave me his number, supposedly at the church he was at, and I left him a detailed message. He knows who I am. I just wanted some answers. I wanted to know what happened with the cat, and I never heard back, so that's that. Janoy Kresva, you got something for me, big name? Thanks for the generosity again, my man. Yeah, Lenny told me the Sid Vicious story. In Tennessee at the wrestling camp, he slammed Lenny, and Lenny didn't keep his chin tucked, so it cracked on the mat. And Big Sid pulled him up and said, "Next time, keep your chin tucked." He said Sid Vicious was guzzling everybody's water, but everybody was too intimidated to say anything to him. Who be breathing like that? Three inches of snow tomorrow. That's like a blizzard for this place. Yeah, he had a great physique. Farm boy. Freezing rain, boring. Yeah, I believe Lenny did honestly believe he'd live to be over 100. He had some weird perspectives, such as when I first found out I had high blood pressure in my early 20s, he said it's because my heart, my arteries, and blood vessels and capillaries haven't adapted to all the weight gain that I had. He said it should be normal that your blood pressure is high because you have so much blood, and that your body just has to adapt and it'll be better. Yeah, I haven't taken Phenibut in 4 or 5 years. Which state would I never want to live in? Well, that's a tough one. I'm sure they all have pros and cons. But the Alaska, where it's dark for a certain period of the year and then light all day, I wouldn't like that. So I'd have to say there. But I'm sure it's a beautiful, state with lots of outdoorsy stuff to see, whales and bears. Eddie Steady, that was Big Randy at the strip club. It was when I was at my biggest. We went in there all sweaty after the gym. I forgot the name of it. And he came up to me and he's like, "You got a shirt in your car?" And I just looked ahead and then I kind of smirked at him. He goes, "You need to go get a shirt on in your car." And then he's like, "You don't know who I am, but I know who you are." He goes, "I'm the guy that benches 405 for 10." And I was like, "Well, I do 500 for reps." But we actually became friends. Not friends after that, but we were actually going to do some collections with him. Yeah, I did 765 for 4 deadlifts. So I'm sure I would have easily done 800. Well, I may very well die the same cause as Lenny. I have a heart issue. I could have a stroke. Who knows? Which misfit would make the best roommate? That's a good question. I would say Prince Andrew, but I heard he doesn't like running his air too much down there in that Florida heat, so that's a red flag. Maybe Brad. Brad said he goes to bed early. He eats healthy home cooked meals a lot, travels a lot. So you figure if you're roommates with Brad, he's going on one of his summer junkets for a couple of weeks. You got the whole place to yourself. I don't remember if I wore straps for that deadlift. So long ago. We were doing the over/under grip on deadlift for a long time. Thoughts on Trudeau stepping down? Long overdue. I don't think specializing in deadlift would have taken away from my bench at all. No. Yeah, Brad's got the big compound out there. I'm sure he runs the air nice and cool. My place is affordable. It's a little over 1,000. To put it in perspective, when I moved here in 2008, I was paying $430 a month for an apartment. Now it's up over 1,000. So, what about special? Yeah. 10-0 Penn State. I worked in Publix stocker on the night shift. So like straightening the aisles. Then they got a truck at night. Then I had a couple shifts in the morning actually stocking the shelves. No, I've never been to Europe. I was there part time at Publix over from like April to July in 2022, and then I got a good raise from work. They're like, well, "You're really underpaid, Andrew. You're a great asset." So I was like, I'll quit Publix." And then football season started, and I'm like, uh, "I just want to, work my regular job and watch football." My dad told me entry level is all you're going to find because I don't have a trade, I don't have a skill, I have nothing more than a high school diploma. So anywhere you go, you'll start from the bottom with not many opportunities for advancement. So basically, yeah, without any skill or trade, or that's mostly what you're going to get. Nah, this is Publix here in South Carolina, not Florida. I was benching over 400 right before I met Lenny. Fitness is a trade, yeah. It's not steady, no benefits. Somebody like me with underlying health condition, benefits are paramount. I passed up management many times. Ski mask. I've turned down running stores. So I just stay in my position. Yeah, I can do training. I've helped some people through here. Bootsy came out a little while ago. She's back sleeping under the bed. What's your kitty's name, Rusty? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. So people call me weird for liking cats. Not that I know of. I'm sure some people think it's weird. Whether I care or not, that's a whole other ball of wax, which I don't. GXO, what is that? What, what line of business are they in? Yeah, I haven't seen many people bench 405 either in my lifetime. Beans, toe beans. Look at that tricep, people. 210. I don't see anybody at Crunch moving any weight. Would I say Lenny has radicalized me? No, some of his views on things, I just, yeah. He had some really out there views on certain topics, and I didn't agree with, but whatever. No, I'm not on TRT. Why do bench workout video? My form, like I said earlier, my shoulders are crooked. I don't use any of the tactics these other top benchers use. So Stefan from the Secret Lair keeps telling me I need to do lifting videos because there's really nobody like me out there with my history, with where I am with the health issues and whatnot. So just haven't been motivated. I don't know. No, I don't do dips anymore. It kills my shoulder. A peak natural. Do I think a peak natural is like 175 shredded contest ready? That's, yeah, for natural, that's decent weight. They're like my height. The Chiefs didn't really game plan, but any team in their position would play the backups. But I expected a better effort out of them. Oh well. I hope they lose. Them in Pittsburgh and Baltimore. That's three teams I don't want to see win it. I haven't been motivated since before Lenny's death. You can count on one hand how many times I've been on here the last year. So it really has nothing to do with Lenny. I have clinical depression. No, my brother has clinical depression, and it's a way different story than me. My test levels are like 370, 400. Baltimore Ravens are a rival of the Bengals. Why would I want them to win anything? So is Pittsburgh, and then Kansas City's a big rival of the Bengals because they played so much over the past 3-4 years. I kind of like Mentzer's training philosophy. People bang on it, but I mean, Dorian utilized a modification of it and how well it worked for him. And it's good for people, people that are busy in life. They just want to hit the gym hard. If you do it correctly with extending the sets with intensity, negatives and force reps and that, if you do it the right way, I think it's a good system. Yeah, Lamar Jackson, he'll win the MVP again. I think he definitely was the most valuable player. Lenny would probably have choice words for him. Ever tried the duck foot form on the back squat like Dorian does? I don't know. No, I don't know what that is. Get some sleep, J Mad. That's not good. It's 2 a.m. where you're at. You got to get up at 7. You need at least 7 to 9 hours to hit all the stages of sleep. You can watch the rest of this. I'm going to be wrapping it up here shortly anyway. Yeah, we all miss Lenny. Thanks for your condolences. Why is my brother depressed? It's I don't know. Since we were young kids, we were a couple grades apart. He's always been he's been diagnosed. He's taken pretty much every I don't know every treatment they have, and then a lot of bad luck in his life, like losing people, like his good friends dying young for whatever if they overdosed or whatever. Um, we seen my brother die in 2010, and my mom. Some people's brains are equipped differently, but I gave him a little prayer book for Christmas. He likes that. It definitely helps him. Faith, the Bible. He needs that guidance, but it's like a hereditary thing. Who knows why he has it? Yeah, every hour before midnight's worth two after. You're right. Sleep. I've heard that. Luke, it's summertime in Sydney, Australia. Am I right? Flies. Yeah, a lot of bodybuilders you'll see doing heavy flies. But I mean, look at me. I was a big bencher and had a big chest. I did do flies after, but could you attribute it to the flies or just big compound movements? Maybe if you're, looking at volume training, throwing it in after your compounds or as a pre-exhaust. But I mean, how much do they really build as it compared to a good bench done with good form? I don't know where Lenny's cat is. We'll never find out. I don't think he had a funeral. Do I believe in semen retention attracting women? Have I experienced it? No, I have not. I think that's the last thing that would attract a woman. They're very superficial creatures. My brother, oldest brother, was killed in 2010 in an altercation in a gentleman's club, let's say, where he was choked by one while the others had his arms and legs suspending him in a guillotine-like position, and he died. Lenny's brother back in the day was tutti frutti, I'll put it that way. Yeah, flies, you get a good stretch, you can get a good contraction, but I mean, what if you took somebody that did just flies versus somebody that did like an incline barbell, dumbbell, flat barbell or dumbbell, or even a hammer strength? I think the pressing movement would build more. Yeah, MGTOW, men going their own way. Yeah, that's me. I texted Lou when Lenny passed. That's the last contact I've had to him, but I'm sure he's busy. Lou's, great to me. Wow. I mean, I've known Lou as long as I've known Lenny back in the day. So hopefully everything's doing well with his businesses and all that down there. That loose skin, you may not be able to do anything about dropping 25, 65 pounds. Me and Lenny had it. I still have a little like on my lower stomach. Do I think Synthol Mark's still around? I hope so. He was pretty impressive. I'm going to skip this third series of ads. So thanks to OG Ghost, I've made a little revenue on here today. Otherwise, who do I talk to when I feel lonely? I don't really feel lonely. I work. Today I was off from work, had some personal things to attend to, so I was busy doing that. I lifted in the morning, went out to eat, my family, helped them with some stuff. Went back to the gym, did 20 minutes walk on the treadmill, bought a couple gift cards for somebody, went to Walmart, came home, ate, went for another 10-minute walk, came back, cooked, listened to a little of a podcast, took a shower, shaved my head, and now I'm here doing this with you. Then I'm going to go to bed. So there's no loneliness anywhere in there. I have my devotional time with the Lord, and I communicate with Him. All right, 5 minutes and I'm out of here. Weekly live stream or podcast with the Maniacs. I don't know. What books am I reading? This one? I got a devotional from Voice of the Martyrs. Some of you cookie cutters need this inspiration from people that what they go through for their faith in Christ across the world that we don't have to suffer here in the States yet. But this is a great book. Got my New American Standard Bible. And my nice Russian Christian coworker bought me this for Christmas. So there you go. Why did Lenny have so much hatred towards PMs, but then he would go get freaky with 10-10-10s? I don't know. I don't think we ever got to the bottom of that. Piedmont's like 30 minutes from here. Yeah, where is old Nate? Anybody hear from Nate? Lenny didn't hate anybody. He just, it's kind of like locker room talk. That's what it was with him, stuff he said. Pinworm Nate. No, I didn't get revenge for my brother. Certain things happen to some of the guys, and my dad, people think there's. My dad's a bitter skeptic, I guess you'd call it, but I'm like, you don't know what goes on in people's lives to see. You think they got off scot free, but you have no idea what's coming down the pike for them or what's going on in their lives. Nobody gets away with anything. Like Charles Stanley, rest his soul in heaven, used to say, is you reap what you sow, more than you sow, later than you sow. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. I forgave the guy back then. I said I forgive him. Doesn't mean I have to like the guy. You got to understand that it's like the Lord's prayer. You have to forgive if you want the Lord to forgive us our trespasses. No, Lee Priest would have smoked me in bodybuilding. He had a much better physique. Nope, nobody did jail time. Thank you, sir. Wrist locker. Appreciate that, your generosity. My max leg press was probably like close to 2,000 back at my strongest, me and Lenny. Mystery Grove, never heard of them. Dale's busy. He called me the day or two after Lenny passed away. And he's, I guess, running his own business. So, nah, I used to do more forearm work, not so much anymore. Life isn't always what it seems. Anyway, appreciate it for you lucky ones that tuned in, because you never know when there's going to be another one of these. But strap yourself in. We're going to be in for a rough ride. Don't get complacent just because Trump got elected, people. I'll say that. Especially you Christians know what I'm talking about. But yeah, maybe I'll get the itch to make some more videos. Maybe do a lifting video, or I say that all the time and then you won't see me for months. So, but I appreciate each and every one of you, even the haters. All questions I try to take into consideration, but stay healthy, you too, Kaizen Production. Yep. Take care.